Hello to all of the supporters of our channel. We are glad to welcome all of you. Today is 15th of January 2019, and we have to say that today is a really very important day, especially for the sterling pairs. You know that today UK Parliament should vote on the Brexit deal, and most of market participants, the majority of analysts, suggest that, of course, the UK Parliament should reject the so-called Brexit deal that was drafted by current UK government with European Union negotiators. And in such cases, we should understand that it's probably a done deal, and that's why probably sterling is not looking so volatile at the moment. Anyway, we should understand what could happen after that, after the rejection. And there is three possible implications, three possible scenarios. One is sterling negative, one is sterling positive, and one is sterling neutral. And what's important and what we should understand most of all, that at the moment is really very hard to answer the question which way the pound should take after that. Probably to understand how to behave yourself in such kind of environment, we should look through the margin of the UK vote. We should look on the difference between those who will approve the deal and those who will disapprove. And in case of this difference will be around 100 members of the so-called MPs, members of parliament. Probably it will be more or less a positive, more or less, let's say, neutral scenario for the sterling. In case of this amount will exceed 200 members, it will suggest that we should enter really very, very nervous waters. Because in that case, should play a role sterling negative and sterling positive suggestions. Among the sterling positive should be a so-called a new kind of a round of elections, and probably a new voting or a so-called second referendum on the Brexit. And in that case, probably it will be most positive sterling scenarios. At the same time, there is another and a very negative kind of scenario in case of we reach the deadline at the end of March 2019 without any kind of concrete details, concrete deal, and finally UK will enter the so-called chaotic Brexit, and of course it should not bode well for the sterling. It will be absolutely negative scenario, and we should understand that sterling in that case could appreciate and renew the lows of previous drop. If you remember, the 2016, the date and the time after the first referendum on the Brexit. So in that case, probably it will play a major role to have not kind of big positions in sterling crosses. Now we're mainly speaking about cable and euro sterling. Let's see the charts of that. Let's start with sterling. Of course, now sterling is looking a little bit bolder than before, trading above 129. We are at the moment, let's say the 100, let's say daily chart. There is a kind of downtrend line, a reliable one, that coincides, now we are speaking about technical factors, that coincides, by the way, with so-called moving average 200 daily line. They intersect around 131, 131.10. We should understand that in case of closing above that line, from a technical point of view, the cable will be looking much more positive. and probably should, let's say, should further appreciate to the upside and even retest at the highs of September last year around 133. But once again, breaking above the level 131 and closing above that level should already be a positive signal for the bull traders in the sterling. At the same time, the so-called chaotic Brexit, let's say another round of negatives for the political system in the UK, for example, in case of a difference of 200 members, in that case, of course, the sterling should plunge and even retest the lows of this year that was registered as you remember on 2nd of January around 124.25. As regarding euro sterling, also here the situations is changing a little bit for the let's say bearish side for the euro sterling. There is a so-called multiple top, medium-term multiple top around 90-60-91. Break and closing above the level of 91, let's see the daily chart, open the way of retesting of the highs of August 2017 registered around 0.9306. But in case of, let's say, in case of the difference between disimproved and approved MPs for the Brexit, in that case, let's say the difference will be around 100 MPs. In that case, it will be more or less positive scenario for the sterling. And in that case, probably we could even retest a so-called uptrend line and location of the bear that's located at the moment around 0.87. Also, we are already crossed below 100 moving average daily line in the cable, and we are ready to test even the level of 0.8860, where lies moving average 200 daily line in the cross. So all eyes today are on the sterling. We don't want to discuss some major currencies. They are not so interesting that cable crosses at the moment. And probably we will come with updating of the sterling crosses after the final voting in the UK Parliament. So follow our possible updates and take care. Bye bye for now.